Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Governor Beshear visits the mountains to assess damage from recent flooding. And a Whitley County business owner is giving back to those affected by recent flooding. And a mudslide has one man concerned for his safety.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:59 on February 14th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning on this Friday, also on this Valentine's Day. If you got some big plans this weekend, the weather is looking good for you. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, no rain this weekend. Rain, go away.
Gone. Dunzo. But we do have a few snowflakes trying to float around on us this morning, but those will be gone here before too long as well. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you see a little bit of blue trying to show up there just north of Jackson there, south of Moorhead. We're going to continue to watch that this morning, but again, flakes, I think maybe a brief snow shower, but that's about the best we'll get out of that one. Outside WYMT right now, calm and quiet, but cold. Look at these temperatures. 19 Moorhead, 20 Irvin, 23 Somerset and London, Monticello 2, 26 in Harlan, 28 Middlesboro, Jacksboro, 26 Prestonsburg, 25 Pikeville, Jackson and Hazard this morning. Forecast for today, it'll be slick a little bit this morning. Temperatures in those low to mid 20s, and then we'll see afternoon high of 32 with some sunshine, and then back down to 19 tonight as we see mostly clear skies and one more cold night before we start our upward temperature trend. Full forecast on the way here in just a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, Governor Beshear came to the area yesterday to tour the recent flood damage. He met with the judge executives and emergency management directors from counties affected by the flooding before seeing the damage in a helicopter tour. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to him about the relief efforts the state is providing for our region.
10 counties and 7 cities, all in a state of emergency with the threat of more rain looming.
We certainly see some significant flooding that is still in Bell County. In other areas, what we see is water receding, but it is really wet.
Thursday, Governor Beshear met with county officials before taking off in a helicopter to see the damages from above.
It shows that it is still a dangerous situation, and that when someone is impacted by this, it's devastating.
When you're on the ground, it's kind of hard to get a full picture. You know that it spans distance, but when you see it all from a helicopter, it brings it into perspective.
217 homes have been impacted by the floods this past week.
This is a 100-year flood. It is significant. It is severe.
The governor said it is important to report damages to local officials so they can provide the resources to help.
We've got a daunting task. I've got road department guys that are working 12 and 14-hour days. They're wearing thin, and there's no end in sight.
Governor Beshear assured local counties the state is supporting them on every level and commended the local officials.
When you look at the type of damage and type of water, it shows how they were active. It shows how the actions they took saved a lot of lives.
Continuing to urge people to stay safe, saying nothing is worth risking your safety.
Now, Governor Beshear said all state agencies are on alert. He issued an executive order implementing price gouging laws. He does not want the people to be taken advantage of. And the rain is finally moving out, and people across the Cumberland Valley are grateful. Day Hoyt was one of the hardest hit areas in Harlan County, and the cleanup is still underway as piles of drenched garbage sit out in front of homes. But for people living around this area, they say no more rain is a relief.
Yes. I was horrified. I heard it coming down hard and heavy, but I'm safer up where I'm at, but these people down in here, it's horrible.
A few areas that had high water on Thursday, including the Jensen community of Bell County, which is an area that typically floods. A roadway was flooded there, and the county school district canceled classes. And the Cumberland River in Barberville is at around 26 feet this morning. Minor flooding is expected to persist for at least another day. It is expected to rise to a little more today before starting to drop. Some roads will remain closed for the next 24 to 48 hours. And a group from Lexington is taking up donations to help many of those affected in the Cumberland Valley. You might remember Heritage Baptist Church. They helped laid off miners during the Black Jewel protest. Leaders there will accept donations through Saturday morning. They will then make a couple of stops in eastern Kentucky, and once we learn about the distribution information, we will share that with you. And during the flooding aftermath, we are once again seeing the kindness of people here in the mountains. Irma Dean Sutton is using her business to help flood victims. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds shows us how her little laundromat is giving people hope.
To many in Williamsburg, Irma Dean Sutton is known as Grandma.
It's been a long time. I've watched kids grow up here, and they're bringing their kids with them now.
She's been here since 1964, but right now she's washing the most she has in years.
These can hold 2 loads, and then you go over on the other side, and them hold 3 loads, and 4 loads, and 6 loads.
The mat needs every load they can hold.
This whole community's been affected the past more than a week, and so on Sunday we were talking about just ways that we could help.
They felt God laid it on their heart to clean clothes covered in mud from flooding getting into homes.
I said, yeah, we can do that. You think we can do that? Yeah.
Since Tuesday, donations of detergent and dryer sheets poured in.
All of this stuff, I mean, it's all the way down to the bottom.
There are people from out of state that have been contributing money. It's been wild.
That money already more than $500 to make sure no one has to pay to get back on their feet.
God can make all things happen.
1 load of laundry at a time. In Whitley County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, since many people have not been able to get back into their homes yet in several parts of Whitley County, they are going to continue the free washes through next week. And a mudslide in Perry County is leaving one person worried about his safety. With the recent rain, the mudslide in Viper is moving the ground beneath Dwayne Blanton's house. As chunks of mud break away, Blanton says his home is not the only thing he is concerned about.
Well, you don't want to go in the house, you know, you just don't want to go back in it because you're afraid it's going to go into the holler with you in it.
Blanton says he hopes to eventually rebuild the home. And transportation officials say a portion of Kentucky 1165 in Perry County, also known as Left Fork Macy's Creek Road, is closed because of a break in the pavement. Now officials think the break in the pavement worsened during rainy weather. Crews are expected to start repairing the road next week, and they do not know how long the repairs will take or when the road will be reopened. Drivers can use the Pratt Mountain section of Kentucky 1165 to access Kentucky 7 as a detour route. And for a third day, crews are working in Williamson to clear a major rock slide on West 3rd Avenue. The slide happened near the Fairview Addition about 10:30 Wednesday night. That's a little past the Tunnel Drive-In. Officials tell us an SUV was hit during the slide, and the driver had minor injuries, but nothing life-threatening. Crews tell us water lines have been repaired while crews continue efforts to clear the road of debris. The road could reopen as early as tomorrow. And work continues this morning cleaning up what is left of a Pike County train derailment. Officials say at about 7 yesterday morning, a CSX train with 96 cars derailed when it hit a mudslide in the Draffin community. 2 people on board the engine had to be saved by water rescue crews after the engine went into the Big Sandy River.
There's a lot of people working the scene both at the Jesse's Branch area down here and here at Draffin. Try to avoid the area if you can. If you do come through here, please use caution and be careful.
Diesel fuel did get into the river, and officials are working with 2 utility districts downstream to make sure the water won't be impacted. And the site of that derailment left many living in the Draffin community at a loss for words. They woke up to a troubling sound just off US 460. Seeing the flames and smokes, many feared the worst. One man told us he'd watched it all unfold, telling WYMT's Buddy Forbes he felt helpless.
Austin Cox was still sleeping.
The train horn, woke me up a little bit, and then it sounded like a tornado was ripping through. It's real loud rumbling.
He said he saw an orange glow, and when he got to his backyard, he already knew what he was looking at.
The flames were 50, 60 feet in the air.
A train derailed, lying in the water of the Russell Fork River.
It was gut-wrenching to see.
He called 911, convinced that the operators of the train were dead.
Who survives a train crash into the river, hitting a mudslide that size, and then
then you survive the fire too, and you walk away from it.
He soon realized he was wrong.
They started asking for help, and you knew they was both alive. You know, you're kind of relieved, but at the same time, it made you feel even worse because now you do know they are over there in that heat.
But all he could do was stand and watch, yelling to the men that help was on the way.
It's coming!
As he saw the flames growing higher and higher.
So their time was running out quick.
Then he watched as local rescue crews loaded them onto a boat, taking them to safety.
It's a blessing they did that. The Lord was sure looking over them today.
And he says he is glad the story did not have a different ending. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet have a team sampling the water to make sure it's safe to drink. And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell sent out a tweet yesterday saying, quote, "I'm thinking about those who were taken to the local hospital and extend my thanks to the first responders at the scene. My staff will stay in contact with local officials."
Forecast this morning looks pretty good. Maybe a few snowflakes flying around, maybe some slick spots on some of those roads, so be careful of that. We're looking at Buffalo Mountain this morning and clear and quiet so far here in the mountains. We're going to continue hopefully to see that trend throughout the day, and we'll see the sunshine by later today. 19 Moorhead, 20 Irvin, 19 Danville, 21 in Somerset. So temperatures continuing to drop, and that could be the case through about mid-morning there, and we'll see those start to rebound just a little bit with the sunshine later on this afternoon. Max warming needed on the coffee meter today, but as we look ahead to your Emoji Cast, it's going to be sunny and cold later, mostly sunny tomorrow and warmer, and a few clouds by Sunday, but still dry, and temperatures could get close to 60 by early next week. Madison?
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. One World War II veteran is getting the Valentine's Day of his life when he receives gifts from people all over. And a couple from Arkansas shared their Valentine's Day tradition.